Everybody, JC here from Toy News International, and today I'm bringing you another TNI Toy News video where I go over the latest happenings in the world of action figures and toys. So we're going to hop right into it today, and first thing I wanted to tell you about is a new wave of Masters of the Universe classic figures that are going to be coming from Super 7. This was announced yesterday. The wave is going to consist of 4 new figures, all new characters that have not been done in action figure form before. At least I don't think they have. So we've got Fangor, the evil weapons master of the Snake Men, Quake, the evil mutant from the New Adventures of He-Man. I've never been into New Adventures, so maybe we've gotten Quake before, I don't know. I actually think this is probably the coolest looking figure of the bunch. So again, even though I'm not really into New Adventures, I think this is kind of a cool looking character. We've got Hawk, the heroic winged warrior of Avion, a female version of Stratos, and then Lodar, the evil master of Slave City. So still no details on how we'll be able to get these. Super 7 says those details will be coming soon. We don't know if it's going to be a subscription service or you can do a day of sale type thing, but hopefully we'll be getting those specific details very soon. And just in case you haven't been paying attention and wondering, well, who's Super 7 and why isn't Mattel putting these out? Last year, Mattel basically discontinued their Matty Collector website and handed over releasing their collector lines like Masters of the Universe to Super 7. Now, right now, Masters of the Universe is the only line that Super 7 is doing. We are still hopeful that Thundercats will be coming from them, but no announcement as of yet for that. Next up, I wanted to tell you about a new announcement from Mezco Toys. They announced and released new images for their upcoming 112 Collective Suicide Squad Harley Quinn figure. So, just in case you haven't gotten enough Harleys yet, we're getting another one. Overall, I think this is a pretty nice looking figure. I know the figures come under fire from some collectors a little bit from the images that were shown because of the seam you can see on the waist with the articulation there. It doesn't bother me too much. I don't know, what do you all think? But overall, I still think it's a pretty good looking figure. Comes with 3 different head sculpts. Should be released in the summer, sometime between June and August. And also she comes with the various weapons, the bat and everything that you see her use in the Suicide Squad movie. So if you're a 112 Collective fan and you like Harley Quinn, I think this is one you'll definitely want to check out. But I would be interested to hear from you guys. Is that way the articulation you can see there on her midsection, does that bother you that much? Is it going to keep you from getting the figure? Let me know in the comments section below. Next up, we've got a couple different Marvel announcements. So first of all, from Diamond Select Toys, this week they did announce that they're going to be doing a Marvel Select 7-inch figure of Spider-Man from the upcoming Homecoming movie. So if you're a fan of Spider-Man, you like the 7-inch scale, this is one you'll probably definitely want to check out. Now the figure is said only to have about 16 points of articulation, so I wouldn't necessarily call it super articulated, but probably decent enough and pretty much on par with what we see with most Marvel Select, I think. It's going to have a number of interchangeable parts, but we don't know what exactly. We have not seen an actual image of the figure yet. They just made the announcement. It was solicited. It's going to be released in July, and hopefully we will be seeing an image of the figure pretty soon. I would assume they'll have it at Toy Fair next month if we don't see it sooner. Also on the Marvel Legend front, now this is a rumor. I actually meant to mention this last week, and this is rumors that have kind of been circulating from various store computers and stuff. So this has not been officially confirmed from Hasbro in any way, so take this with a grain of salt. But we're going to be getting a number of different Marvel Legends 6-inch 2-packs. So, 2-packs is something that they used to do with the Marvel Legends line, Hasbro did, and they kind of discontinued that. I don't believe these are going to be store exclusives. They appear that they're going to see a wide release. So, I don't think they're going to be limited to just one store, but I don't know that for sure. But the 2-packs that we know about or rumored are a Guardians of the Galaxy 2 movie 2-pack that's going to feature another Star-Lord figure, and then Ego. Now this is going to be a little spoilerish for you, so if you don't want to know about Ego, fast forward a couple seconds. But It's from what I've heard, Ego is, in the comics he's the living planet, but in this movie apparently he's taking human form. We've actually seen a pop vinyl figure version of him, and I believe this is going to be Star-Lord's father, played by Kurt Russell in the movie. But we're getting a 2-pack, a 6-inch 2-pack for the two characters. Also the Spider-Man and Mary Jane set that I told you about a couple weeks ago, that should be out this early summer. Still don't really know any specifics. We saw the Mary Jane figure at San Diego last year, but don't know what Spider-Man it's going to come with. Then the new ones that have been surfacing are a Dark Phoenix 2-pack. Have no idea what the second figure is going to be. Many are speculating it's going to be a version of Cyclops, but I don't know that. That's the most logical, I think, is Cyclops, but again, don't know that for sure. And then the last one, which I don't know has been widely announced or circulated as far as rumors go, but there's apparently going to be a 2-pack for the Spider-Man Homecoming movie as well. Don't know what figures are going to be in it, but it will be movie-based figures. So there you go. I think most of these are going to see release in the summertime, so between June and August is when we'll start seeing these. And again, I believe these are going to see a wide release, not be store exclusives. And again, until Hasbro confirms these, which they'll probably do next month at Toy Fair, take these with a grain of salt as a rumor. Now, one other thing I wanted to touch on is last week I did a contest for a Marvel Legends Deadpool figure, and we did get a winner. I announced it here, but the contest was on my Twitter page, and I did announce the winner on Twitter, but I just wanted to let you guys know in case you didn't see it. JQ Hammer was the winner. His figure went out earlier this week, so he'll probably be getting it any day now if he hasn't already. Congrats to him. I do have another Deadpool figure that I will probably be giving away. I don't know when and how yet, but stay tuned for details. That's why it's good to follow me on things like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, because I can more easily announce things like that than I can by doing a whole video and everything. But again, congrats to JQ Hammer for winning that Deadpool figure last week, and thanks for everybody who entered into the contest. Now, also something I talked about last week in last week's news video was about doing a Q&A segment, and I did get a lot of questions from you guys, so if I didn't get to your question this time, I do apologize, but I will, as long as I continue to get questions from you guys, I'll continue to incorporate these in future videos. So if you've got a question, please, ask it below. Just kind of notate Q&A, or this is for the Q&A, and I'll try and get to it in the next video. And so the first one comes from 22 Productions, and they ask, what is the oldest, most rare Marvel Legends figure you own? So as far as the oldest go, that's pretty easy. I actually have all the original Marvel Legends. I have the first wave of Marvel Legends with the Toad and the original Captain America and Iron Man. So those would be the oldest. DM Studio asks, do you like Five Nights of Freddy action figures? Would you collect them? So I don't dislike them. I don't collect them. I've never really played the video game, and because I've never really played the video game, they've really not something that's held my personal interest. Rob asks, what was your first Transformer figure? So that's easy. My very first, there's actually two I bought at the same time, and this was back when Transformers first came out in the United States, and it was very popular. Very hard to find the figures, and I went into this drugstore, this local drugstore, and to my surprise, they had like almost all the original Transformers. And back then, I mean, drugstores much more common now that you find toys and stuff at drugstores, but back then nobody ever thought to look for something like Transformers at a drugstore. So, and these things were really hard to get. These were like you would see at Christmas time, you'd see on the news parents fighting over the last Transformers and stuff. So it was like this kind of little secret place that I had to go to buy Transformers. And for a little while, eventually people caught on and they started to sell there as well. But for a little while there, I had this access to all these Transformers where I didn't have to worry about them selling out super quick. But the first two that I got, or I should say my parents got for me, was the G1, Megatron, and Optimus Prime. So I went with the biggies, the 2 liters. Blade Wilson asked, can you estimate when the Marvel Legends Warlock, X-Men Warlock Build-A-Figure wave will start shipping to the US? So I can certainly estimate it. How accurate my estimate will be, I really have no idea. I was expecting that wave to be hitting overseas, and it does not look like they have yet. So it looks like they might be running a little behind. but just based on a rough estimate, I would suspect to see them probably late March or even April time frame. Aka Mouse, probably not pronouncing that, I apologize. But he asks, been watching your videos on YouTube before knowing about your websites. Who do you get your info from? Do you know people at toy companies? Do companies send you stuff to review? Or are you purely showing off stuff that you like to collect yourself? So that's a pretty good question. So I've been, first of all, because I also saw this question asked by a few people, I actually started Toy News International. Originally it was named American Dream Comics and Collectibles. We switched to Toy News International because that seemed more like a name for a news organization that covers toys as opposed to a store that sells them. But originally the site was called American Dream Comics. I started it back in about, I believe it was 99. So I've been doing this for some time, over 17 years now. And yes, I do know people in the toy companies. I work with most of the major toy companies, and to some extent. It's not always easy getting information from them. That's not where all my information comes from. A lot of times information comes from various sources. But yes, I do get information from toy companies. Not all the time, but I do, and I definitely, we work with the toy companies. As far as the toys that are sent, or do they send toys for us to review, I would say about 90% of the stuff that I review is stuff that I've purchased. Now, not all of it's stuff that personally appeals to me. A lot of it is, but I do also, I generally try and review stuff that I think you guys are interested in, or a number of you, and that's what I usually try and base my decision on what I'm reviewing. I wish I could review everything, but I try and go with stuff that I think there's a decent demand for. And a lot of that is stuff that I like. I love Marvel Legends, I love DC collectible figures, I love Star Wars, I love Transformers. But to answer your question again, 90% I would say are stuff that I buy myself. The rest I would, toy companies do on occasion send me. And when I'm reviewing something that's sent to me by a toy company, I always make sure to acknowledge that in the video. It's really kind of required. You're really supposed to, when a company sends you something to review, you're supposed to, basically notify the people reading or watching the review that that's the case. So let's see, last question from Steven. Do you think it's possible we will see a 12-inch Marvel Legends Black Widow figure? Well, I have not heard anything about a 12-inch Black Widow figure. In fact, I've not heard anything on the 12-inch line beyond the Deadpool figure, which I reviewed the other week. I would actually almost not expecting to hear anything more. Again, not based on anything that I've been told, but just my feeling is that perhaps this line is going to be ending with Deadpool. We'll know probably next month if Hasbro doesn't have any new 12-inch figures to show off at Toy Fair. That's probably a good indication that they're going to be ending that line. But even if they do more, I would be pretty surprised if Black Widow was one that they did. Never know, but just asking my honest opinion, I would say the chances are not good of a Black Widow figure in 12-inch scale from Hasbro. Now, of course, places like Hot Toys, which obviously are more expensive, have done a number of nice-looking Black Widow figures, and if you can afford those, I would definitely recommend you check those out. So that's it. Like I said, if you've got more questions, please ask them in the comments section below. I love hearing from you guys. Also, nothing in the P.O. box this week, but if you do want to hit me up in the P.O. box with some artwork or what have you, the address is down below. And then, like I said before, if you're not already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts, because it's just a way to keep up with what's going on, contests, reviews, what have you, just in case you miss it here on YouTube, or I'm not able to do a video to make a small announcement or something like that. All right, guys, I will hopefully have another news video up sometime next week. I've got a number of things, reviews to get up. So again, thanks for checking out this video, and until next time, I'll catch you later.